Good morning, good evening, good day, dandelions out there. Welcome to the Dandelion Reflections podcast with my co host Christopher and myself, Caroline.
Hello, Caroline.
Bonjour, Christophe.
Well, thanks for being here with me today.
Yes,
And
thank you.
as I have understood, we have a topic to talk about that may cast some shadows um, over this
Yeah.
podcast for a short moment, at
Mhm.
least. So, will we? What is our topic for today?
Well, today we will invite our audience to reflect on grief. It's a phenomenon that happens to all of us, and it just happened to us in the past few days. We lost someone very dear in our community, and actually, she was a guest at this podcast a few months ago. So I'm talking about Dr. Karina Poliquin, who is missed already after a full, vibrant, humanistic, dedicated life, very inspiring. And I wanted to maybe dedicate this podcast to her memory, and to use this experience to explore what grief is about and why it's important to develop grief literacy. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences with grief. How do we
Mm.
cope with grief? Because there's this therapist at our clinic, Jessica. She said it beautifully. She said, "We cannot fix grief. We can only hold the grief."
That sounds wonderful.
Yes. So it's not going to be something we can ignore forever.
Mm.
It's there. It needs to be integrated. And that's a word that Bronwyn, another guest at our podcast, said. I think she talks a lot about integration of
Mm.
experiences and emotions. That's one of them. I think grief cannot be amputated. It needs to be integrated. We carry it within us over time, and
Mm.
it never disappears completely, but it
Cool.
doesn't hurt as much
Right.
with some time and allowing it to talk to us and express itself and integrate.
Mm.
Yeah.
When you say integrate, I see this embrace movement there.
Oh, yeah.
Embrace grief, embrace the emotions of it, and this is maybe
Yeah.
something that you asked about my thoughts. Um, well, somehow in history, maybe also in religious history, in many religions, I can't say in all, but in many religions, there is this fear of death or the fear of dying, which are, in my opinion, two different things. Um, and so, but it is inevitable.
Yeah.
So when I bring in the Stoic philosophy, if it's inevitable, why fight it? We cannot get around it. It is a part of life,
Yeah.
and this circle of life, death and resurrection, and death and it is always. It's like the four seasons. Uh, and the
Yeah.
death of all the leaves on the ground that fall from the tree, and they will be uh, nourishing the plants in the coming spring. And I like to see it that way, and not like a loss. If we lose someone, there's also a more or a bigger or a lesser part of, and I'm not saying that in a blaming way, a part of egoism in there. We lose someone, we want them back again.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, that's totally understandable because we have so many memories, hopefully good memories. In our case, very fond memories. Uh, but we cannot get bring them back in any way. So we need to let go in
Yeah.
some way. But I don't mean by that that we should not grieve. Grief is very important. Grieve, and this is very individual.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
no one from outside can tell you when to stop grieving. Oh, come
No.
on, it's been a year, you must be over that. No, that is not
No.
in there, right? You can take whatever time, or we need to take whatever time we need to grieve, and it's our decision and it's our responsibility.
Thank you for saying that, Christopher. It's very validating. Grief has its own clock. And I remember feeling invalidated by other people who were
Mm.
saying, well, can't you be over it now? Can't you take a pill? That was a person
Oh, oh
in
my God.
my, at the time, landscape. And I was
Mm.
grieving a baby that
Oh
after
my.
24 weeks. And it was an
Mm.
anniversary reaction. So it was a few years after the actual death. But that's what I mean by there is a specific clock to grief, and it's never the same. It's not the same for each person, or
Mm.
for every type of grief that a person can go through. So for me, it happened to have been reactivated at the time that I lost my baby.
Right.
And it was so not constructive to tell me this. And so I feel like grief is a very delicate experience, just
Mm.
like the soul. We need to handle it carefully. We need
Yes.
to hold it. We need to, like you said,
Mm.
gently embrace it or let it be, but not rush it.
Mm.
Rushing it is absolutely not helpful. And it's actually alienating.
Mm.
So, and it's really an opportunity to connect with the spiritual dimension of ourselves, and also honor the memory of the person we once knew, and express gratitude.
Mm.
So grief, within that space, there can happen a lot of good things too, as we slowly let go, as we slowly accept. And it's not a switch on off, as you know, right? Letting go and
Yes.
accepting. Oh my gosh. No, it's a little by little as we digest.
Mm.
I've heard about Karina's death yesterday morning. I was going to
Mm.
work and I was so shocked. I was in tears. I was devastated. I called a friend, and throughout the day it was hard for me to function, but I
Mm.
decided, no, I need to make room for that. I came home.
Mm.
I still work, but I said I need to work from home. This is going to be my psychological first aid. This is what I need. I need to be home
Mm.
and connect with people who knew her. And so we should listen to ourselves. I think that's another important message for our dandelions here.
Mm.
You know what's best for you, and there's no wrong emotion. You can have anger
Exactly.
too, right? You can have anger, despair, uh, everything.
Mm.
There's no one size fits all. Yeah.
That is so true. Yes. And I really want to emphasize again that it is very something very individual, and we should all take ourselves the time we need to grieve, and don't let others decide when it is enough.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Full stop.
Yes.
I understand and know that the emotions can be overwhelming, and when we get such a notice, or when we get the news, and the the our brain's reaction is of course full panic mode in many
Hmm.
cases. And
Hmm.
would you describe a little what happens in our brain there when we go into panic mode?
Yeah, so we are in our stress response systems, and it was
Mm,
designed to protect us.
right.
When our brain evolved, from reptilian to what we are, but there's also part of the reptilian brain because it's a more, I want to say primitive or foundational part of a brain.
Mm,
However, it gets activated maybe too easily. So, grieving or losing someone could be experienced as also losing oneself. It's like
mm-hmm,
experiencing threat directly to our integrity. So
mm,
that's why there could be the panic. We're threatened by the loss of connection. So for me, with Karina, for
right.
instance, we had projects. As you know,
Mm,
we did the podcast, but there were other things we wanted to do together, write
mm,
an article. It's and I this is what I grieve too, is all the missed opportunities, all the dreams
mm,
that keep someone going. And many parents who lost children will also know that, or
mm-hmm.
pregnancies, there's the loss of possibilities, a loss of dreams.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes we lose the actual experience in person, but also there's the loss of what could have been and is no
Mm-hmm,
longer going to be. So yeah, so it is a very uncomfortable and distressing situation, and then people can have like the fight flight freeze response. So you
mm-hmm,
can have people say, wow, this person has no emotions, they don't care about the loss, or they don't, or it doesn't affect them. No, they actually might be so overwhelmed with the sadness, the fear, the disorientation, that they're in a freeze
mm-hmm.
response. It's a
Right.
dissociation. So that's why I'm saying there's no emotion that's wrong. It's like just acknowledging them and letting them be processed and go through our bodies. Because as it was said in a book called the Grief Recovery Handbook, they said it really beautifully. The authors Friedman and James, I think, or James Friedman and someone Russell. Anyway, those names I mix them up
Mm-hmm,
all the time. But this is a great book because they say what needs to happen with grief resolution is that we are closing the emotions. And I thought that was so beautiful. So whatever you need to do to close the emotions, and it could be a ritual, it could be. That's why we have funerals. That's why we have celebrations of
mm-hmm.
life. And I prefer celebration of life, to be honest. I think it's
Yeah.
more uplifting, and
Mm-hmm,
sometimes even people do that before they die, when they know they're going to die because they have a terminal illness, and that's even better
mm-hmm,
because you get to say goodbye to the
mm-hmm.
person as they are still in this tangible world. But
Yeah.
it's okay if you don't have the chance to. Some people feel very distressed because they couldn't say goodbye. They arrived at the bedside, the person was dead.
Mm,
They are in another dimension. You can still say it, write it. They live in you. The memory of our loved ones always live in us. So yeah, doing those rituals can help with those reactions. They can help us ground ourselves too, because
mm-hmm,
when we are in stress response systems, we are thinking ahead too much, we are panicking, catastrophizing. No, it brings us back in the moment. Oh,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to go pick some flowers today, I'm going to light a candle.
Right.
These are small simple things that we could do
Mm-hmm.
that can bring us back in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I did
And
yesterday. I lit up a candle, I picked up some cards for the new moon, and it's like I did my own ritual, and I had my coffee
yes.
outside this morning thinking about my friend and
Yes.
how much she would have liked sitting there and
Mm,
enjoying a lively conversation. Yeah, I
yeah.
felt good. Hmm.
Wonderful. We
Yeah.
we we sometimes like to um, anchor ourselves very much around the moment and the the impression of death or
Mm.
dying, and so we see the funeral, we see
Mhm.
the la casque. What was it again in
The
English?
casket, the
The
coffin
the
casket.
coffin. Yes,
Yeah.
right. Thank you. And so that is the last picture we see of this person that we
Mhm.
have loved
Yeah.
and cherished. And But
Hmm.
I would love to invite everyone in grief to also, remember the good things that we had together, that we shared together, the good memories,
Hmm.
not only around death and dying, but also around living. All these
Yeah.
wonderful memories that no one can take away
Yeah.
from us, and not
Oh.
even death can take away from us. So I wish this is something that is so important, and we often forget it when we are
Hmm.
in this mode where emotions overwhelm our
Hmm.
brain, and keep us from seeing a little
Hmm.
more of the picture. Of course, as we said before, that's something very individual, and something that can seem very,
Yeah.
very hard. But one day we will be ready to be able to look back and smile again over the wonderful things
Hmm.
we experienced together, the wonderful memories, the pictures in our heads, and maybe even physical pictures that we have at home from this person,
Yes.
and just be
Yeah.
happy and cry, just because. Yeah.
Yes. Christopher, thank you for mentioning that. First of all, I like what you described because to me, it's you're describing a sense of peace and
Mm.
serenity associated with the loss. And you are also mentioning that joy and sadness can coexist. And I think it's an
Yes.
important reminder because people sometimes are like,
Sorry.
you know, either or kind of brain, like the binary. No, wait a minute.
Yes. Mm.
It can all coexist. It's a stew of emotions, like I like to say sometimes. And I go
Yeah.
through the stews of emotions all the time.
Mm.
So for me, it's never like, oh, there's one emotion and the other ones are not allowed in. I
Mm.
can't control that. So
No.
it's complex. It's a complex experience. So yes, there will be sadness and there will be gratitude and joy and laughter and regrets. That's
Mm.
inevitable. Yeah. So I think, you know what? It's a practice, just like anything else. Grief is a practice, it's an opportunity to practice.
Yes. Big yes
Yeah.
to that. Yes. And no one has the key to perfect grief. No one.
Hmm. No, no.
Some people just step over it like it was an old rug.
Yeah.
Other people just
Hmm.
throw themselves into it and
Yeah.
bathe in it. And yeah,
Yes.
it's none of these is wrong, and nothing in between either. It's
Mm-mm.
just the personal way to cope with it.
Yes. It's like nature, it can be messy and beautiful. Because, right, a
Yes.
storm is messy, but the lightning can be beautiful.
Mm.
Like you mentioned, the seasons. I love that analogy of the cycle of the seasons. And what a perfect example of integration. You have dead
Mm.
leaves, but then what will happen? They'll fall on the ground, decompose, and be that kind of fertilizer of the soil. It's nothing's
Mm-hmm.
lost, nothing's created. It's all a cycle. Same with death. It's the
Right.
death of someone, but the rebirth of something else.
Right.
And I like to think about that this way. And yeah, so yeah, there's so much there, and it's a good opportunity to reframe how we approach
Mm.
grief, and yeah, not expecting that everything will be like a straight line, and it's like, okay, whatever arises, and we need to welcome it and embrace it, and
Mm.
yeah, there's no way out but through. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes. There's no way out but through. And
Yeah.
I'd like to add another very valuable sentence that helped me a lot and still does. Find the good. There's
Find the
always
good.
something good, even in death. It
Yeah.
reminds
Yeah.
me of someone. If someone dies,
Hmm.
if we forget, then
Hmm.
it's in vain. If we remember this person, if we maybe
Hmm.
find something, a detail that is worth
Hmm.
taking with us for ourselves, or spreading into the world and let others know, then this
Hmm.
death was not in vain. It was good for something. We
Yeah.
even even deaths where we in the first moments or months or years can't even see why is it what is this good for, we'll
Mm-hmm.
find small details that tell us, okay, maybe this is the message for me that I can
Mm-hmm.
take into my world, into my life. Oh yeah, I forgot how important it is to tell the ones around me, the people around me, that I love them,
Oh, yes. It's
or to
beautiful.
to maybe depending on the cause of death, maybe it's a reminder for myself to just check
Mm-hmm.
on my health a little more often,
Mm-hmm.
or be a little more cautious in traffic or whatever.
Yeah.
There are tons of millions of ideas that we can take away from a death of a
Yeah.
person or
I love
animal for
that.
that matter.
You This is so true. The becoming more aware
Mm,
and becoming more present. Yeah, that reminds us of that, I think.
right.
And yes, what are the lessons that this person has left, or what have we learned? And
Mm,
yeah, it's really about cherishing each moment because it's so precious, making the best out of it too. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, since we dedicated this episode to our friend, so what is there that is the good for us? What is
Yeah.
it we take with us from this?
Wow. That's a big one. For me, I mean, I think it applies to this loss and other losses in general, even of people who are not dead, by the way, because you can still grieve someone who's still alive, as you
Yeah. Oh,
know.
yes. Mm-hmm.
And there was a time when I had to grieve time spent with loved ones. It was really about dealing with the void, the absence. And what
Mm,
it taught me, Christopher, is it was to not abandon myself. It
mm,
was to put myself back at the center of my life and really express my gifts
mm,
and fulfill my dreams. I felt like what a gift they are giving me, these people that I love so much, that
mm,
for some reason are not there right now with me. I think it's, in a spiritual sense, it's a message
mm,
that comes through them in their form, in the form of their absence, to remind me, okay, time for you, girl. Make room for your dreams. So
oh,
that's what
right.
I hear
Mm,
also from Karina, in a way. Maybe she was there just as a reminder of that important lesson, because maybe
mm,
I didn't fully integrate it the first time. I got it on some level, but yeah, started doing some projects, but didn't
mm,
fully do what I want to do. Maybe she was just there. She was there to actually consolidate that lesson
mm,
or wisdom. She was there as a reminder. And that's what I want to remember. Among so many other things that she's brought in my life, the bubbliness she had, she was a very ebullient person, vibrant. Everyone felt that she had an impact in their life,
mm.
even though it was a short encounter. Everyone felt that she was unforgettable. So for
Oh,
me,
yes.
yes, I think one of the biggest lessons is like, I need to keep going. I need to keep doing. And also, she was a physician. And
Mm,
I feel like, okay, I need to keep her legacy alive because she really cared about kids, just like you and I,
yes.
Christopher.
She
We
really did.
care
Yeah.
about children's rights, children's well being. We want them
Mm,
to thrive. So, okay, where do I start? And that feels really good.
yes. Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you,
That's
Karina.
wonderful. Yes.
Merci.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
to that, even if it feels like there's nothing to that can be added, I just want to mention a small thing that is in my memory of her, of the
Mm.
many things that you haven't yet mentioned, of the many things that you have mentioned. I just want to point out that her colorfulness,
Yeah.
the vibrant colors in the picture when she was our guest, and I'm
Mhm.
sure that she takes these this colorfulness, not only in all the colors around herself, but from her personality and radiant. I think you said radiant. Uh,
Yeah,
she
vibrant, radiant. Yeah,
radiated
all of that.
uh,
Hmm.
around, and such a
Hmm.
such a wonderful sun walking on the earth and inspiring people, getting attention. Uh, she
Yeah.
was she was of course someone that maybe didn't really fit in. But what
Hmm.
does that tell us?
Hmm.
Maybe we don't need to fit in.
Hmm.
Maybe
No.
we should just, forget all the boxes that we want to
Mhm.
put everyone into and labeling. And
Yeah.
she lived herself. She lived the message, and I love that. And that is very inspiring, and I love that. And that's what I take with me.
Oh, thank you, Christopher. It comforts me because that's also
Mm.
my experience of her. She dared to be herself
Yes.
unapologetically.
Hmm.
This is quite something, especially for a woman, even nowadays.
Yes. Hmm.
Wow, kudos to her.
And we
And
can take this
yeah,
to our children and help
yeah,
them be themselves.
yeah.
They don't need to fit into a system. They
Hmm.
don't, whether you're high IQ, low IQ,
Hmm.
whatever. It
Doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. There is no box.
No, because what we are ultimately is filters of consciousness. So
Yes.
we're not, yeah, a number, a metric, this or that. We just add to the collective wisdom by being
Mm.
who we are in this world. That's it. And Karina had her special way of being to this world, as you noticed. She was
Yes.
gifted, intense, creative. Yes, we'll keep the good. We'll keep the
Right.
good of her.
Thank you, Karina, and thank you, Caroline, for today
Yes. Thank you, Christopher. And
and
Karina will
for
always stay in our hearts in this
thank you.
community and beyond.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone who listened today. And we hope you will take something with you from
Yes.
today.
Please go in peace, everyone. Be well.
Yes,
Thank you.
be well.
Thanks,
Bye
Chris.
bye. Au revoir.